Welcome to Ruston, Louisiana, the Thomas Assembly Center, the TAC, what they call it, and it's where Louisiana Tech Bulldogs are undefeated this season. That's 11 wins at home, and can they make it 12? We want you to know. We want you to tell us. We want to interact. It's like a game you've never watched before. So you're already watching on Facebook, so you see the comment section. So go ahead and write who you think is going to win for tonight. We'd love to hear your answers. If Instagram is more your thing, go ahead and upload your pictures of who you're watching with. Show us your team colors. Show us where you're watching. And again, who's going to win. Just remember to use the hashtag WKU versus La Tech. That's WKU vs LATECH. We'll get you started because we've been Instagramming all day. We've been here all day. First of all, yeah, that's me. That's at shoot around. I snuck upstairs and saw the Karl Malone trophy case. What a legend. I'm on the Karl Malone court right now. He owns everything here. This is his turf. Pretty cool. They've got old sneakers, old socks, everything of Karl Malone's. It's awesome. And then we were talking with Rick Stansberry, the coach here, and so we got to meet up with him, hear about his team. And so this game is supposed to be so good as it was last year. It got so close last season and ended up being a 1-point victory for the Hilltoppers. It was in Bowling Green. Western Kentucky was down by 1, and Lamonte Bearden had it all in his hands. He missed 2 free throws and then got fouled after getting his own rebound, and in his second opportunity, he made 2 free throws, and the game was done. 1-point victory, so it should be a good one. We got Chris Voster's play-by-play and Max Starks analyst, and they're going to tell us what we're going to see tonight, guys.
Olivia, thank you very much. You're right. It was 69-68 between Tech and Western Kentucky last year. And Max, we could very well be in for another close matchup today. By the way, I am Chris Fosters. This is Max Starks. Yes, the 2-time Super Bowl champion. I don't want to ask what you're doing covering a basketball game. Did you get lost on the way to the football facilities or something?
Yeah, you know, it was right across the street. I figured it's a Saturday. What better to do in Ruston than come watch a good basketball game?
Now, all kidding aside, you do have an extensive background in the sport of basketball, starting with your time as a ball boy for the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I was a ball boy for 4 years in Orlando when I was in high school. With the Orlando Magic, I was recruited out of high school to play college basketball, and I've just been a lifelong fan. I love it. This is my second love outside of football, and it's a pleasure to have an opportunity to call a game today.
So again, we want to hear from you on Facebook, and maybe that's a good question to throw Max's way. Questions about his time as an Orlando Magic ball boy, and I mean, you weren't just mopping the floor, you were warming up guys like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone a little bit too, right?
Yeah, I had those guys, Larry Johnson, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant. I was there back in that mid-90s NBA era, and yeah, it was an all-encompassing job. You weren't just mopping up sweat and getting Gatorades for guys.
We've got the national anthem coming up right now, and so we will talk to you on the other side of that.
Sponsored by Origin Bank. Joining Director of Athletics Tommy McClellan on the board this afternoon is Senior Vice President and Lincoln Parish Market Leader Jeff Parker. A special thanks to Origin Bank and Origin Premier Partner of Louisiana Tech Athletics. At this time, we also give praise to Rights for the Vacation, led today by reigning the spirit of the Washer Dogs, outstanding team, and an advocate of the March of Dimes, Miss Anna Catherine Thompson.
Please pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing us to come here for today's basketball game. I pray that you will watch over both teams for no injury, that all the players will play with sportsmanlike conduct and perform to the best of their ability with the talents that you bless them all with. I pray that you will watch over us as we go home this evening and travel home, and I pray that we will all remember that in everything that we do it for your glory. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Please join our student athletes and coaches in honoring America and celebrating this freedom for those who protected it. Let us stand as one nation and one people for the playing of our national anthem performed this afternoon on the Louisiana Tech University New Troop.
Get ready. This might be the best thing you've seen today.
Tremendous is going to play the rest of the day. I can't believe what I just saw. We got a ball game.
Welcome to Ruston, Louisiana and the Thomas Assembly Center, the site of this Conference USA showdown between Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. This has been a fortress for the Bulldogs this season. They are a perfect 11-0 as Western Kentucky tries to extend a win streak to 4 straight. This is an important matchup in the Conference USA standings, a very compact conference as it stands right now. Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech, as a matter of fact, right next to each other in the conference standings, so a win would really go a long way for both of these teams today. Hello there, alongside Max Starks, the former Pittsburgh Steeler, the 2-time Super Bowl champion. My name is Chris Fosters. Now, Max, our stadium fans are very familiar with you from your work on the football side of things, but you cover lots of different sports, and what have you enjoyed about stepping onto a basketball court, so to speak?
You know, the one thing I've really enjoyed is obviously the passion and the play. It's a lot faster pace than on a football field, but I love basketball. I grew up playing basketball my entire life. I still play now in the 35 and up men's league. So to watch these games, watch these young men out here competing, and possibly seeing future NBA talent is a blessing, and it's a lot of fun to do.
Well, speaking of future NBA talent, Western Kentucky has got a guy with a very bright future, Charles Bassey.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Charles Bassey, the 6'11 freshman, has just been playing lights out this season. You look at him, he's top 25 nationally in field goals, double-doubles, blocks per game, and total rebounds. The kid is a total package. He knows how to move in and out of the box, in the post, and great touch around the rim.
He's a big part of the inside game. Tavion Hollingsworth, just a sophomore, is a big part of the outside game for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Tavion Washington had a great freshman campaign, and now he's actually following it up with very good play. He's a guy who can play off the ball, but he can also do some point guard things. A slasher that can pass, dribble, and shoot.
So Western Kentucky has been a little bit streaky this season, but again, they're on a 3-game win streak, going up against a Louisiana Tech team that is led by Daquan Bracey.
Daquan Bracey, what can you say about this guy? The guy is a triple threat, and I can almost put a 4 on there, but he can pass, he knows how to slash at the rim, he can shoot from anywhere on the court, but most importantly, he's ambidextrous. The guy can go left or right, which makes it really tough for a defender, especially when he's driving to the basket.
Well, Louisiana Tech is very deep at the forward position in particular, and Anthony DeRuggi is going to have his hands full handling Western Kentucky inside.
Yeah, Anthony DeRuggi, the good thing about him is he's a physical player. He has a high vertical leap, so he can compete with a lot of the taller guys, but he has great touch and a great outside shot. So look for him to pull the bigger Bassey out into the lane so he can get more freedom inside.
Western Kentucky versus Louisiana Tech. Say hi to us on Facebook, and let's send it back over to Olivia.
Thank you, Chris. That's right. We're expecting a really good game, a heated game, and that's why we want you a part of it. We want you commenting, and if you're on Instagram, use the hashtag WKUVSLaTech, WKUVSLaTech. And on Facebook, if you want to comment any of your thoughts, including on Max's bright orange sweater, go for it. Just keep in touch with us. We're going to have a lot of fun.
2 more players that we want you to keep your eyes on today. Max, starting with Josh Anderson, the dude on the left. He broke his nose on Thursday, and here he is playing today without a mask.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we're going to keep a watch on him because he's a difference maker. Last 2 games, 35 points total, so he's been a scoring machine for Western Kentucky.
Jacoby Pemberton is another player to keep an eye on for Louisiana Tech. He's coming off his 3rd double-double of the season, and he dropped a career-high 18 points to go along with 11 rebounds against Marshall. On to our starting lineups, and both teams are very young. There is not a senior in the starting lineup today.
No, there's not. A lot of youth, so expect a high pace of play between both of these teams, and a lot of fun. I think the big matchup's going to be how Hollingsworth matches up against Bracey.
Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on that. And a special shout out to Jacob Alsobrook in particular for watching this game on Facebook. Tracy says, go Tops from up in Bowling Green. Jacob Alsobrook also says, go Tops. So I guess we've got some Western Kentucky fans in the audience today.
Yeah, we do have a lot, and very few at La Tech. I think they'll be getting more involved, but Western Kentucky, nice presence for the start of this contest.
We are all ready to go. Tip center. 2 new teams, relatively speaking, to Conference USA. This is a budding rivalry. And these two teams are looking to duplicate a very close matchup last year up in Bowling Green that was decided by just 1 point. Banton's pass is tipped and taken away by Amari Archibald. And here comes Tech stretching the floor. This is Bracey, the guy we talked about in the open. Archibald, topside three is bricked. And here comes Western Kentucky the other way. And again, that is Josh Anderson, the guy playing with a broken nose.
And a missed opportunity going towards the lane and trying to pass it off to him.
The head coach for Western Kentucky is Rick Stansbury in his 3rd season. A pretty impressive record, Max, 53-37.
Yeah, Rick Stansbury, longtime assistant, and doing a great job here at Western Kentucky. And like you said, going in and pulling a top 6 recruit in this class just goes to the strength of his resume.
And that top 6 recruit is Charles Bassey, who could do nothing to stop Anthony DeRugi from laying that one in. And we have our first points of the game, but Bassey, who's already calling for it in the high post right now, came over to the United States at 14 years old from Nigeria, and Rick Stansbury was one of the first people there to greet him when he came to the States.
And what an amazing job. I mean, this kid came over, and he's been a great player for him, and I see why he was able to get him and pull him away once he got to America.
Well, Eric Conkle has certainly done a great job bringing recruits into the Louisiana Tech program. The Duncan Dogs, the moniker that this program was assigned during the Karl Malone years, and he's doing his best to keep that alive.
Yeah, and you see this team has had a lot of dunks, and it's more so, you know, when we talk to Eric Conkle, it's about the tenacity that La Tech plays with more so than the physical dunking, but it's always a good graphic when you get to see a lot of dunks in a game.
It sure is. High entertainment value in that, no doubt. Western Kentucky still looking for its first points of the day. They won't get it there on an air ball from Delano Banton, the freshman. Hello to Nate, by the way, who's watching this one from Owensboro, Kentucky. Go Tops, he says. Where are the Louisiana Tech fans? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, where are they? Come on, guys. Let's hear from you as well.
Fun matchup there between Bassey and Oliver Powell, who got beaten up inside and couldn't finish the shot. 3 turnovers already for Western Kentucky in this one.
And Western Kentucky still trying to figure out the zone that La Tech's running. It almost has like a 3-2 feel to it, and they're doing a great job of really defending and face guarding guys at the top of the key.
Banton on the drive, throws it up to Josh Anderson. And the rebound is snatched down by Louisiana Tech. All right, Bobby Ainsworth, go Dogs. There's our Louisiana Tech fans.
We found one. We found one. Good job.
DeRugi at the free throw line. And that's Jacoby Pemberton, one of the players we're keeping our eyes on today.
Yeah, and think about this. La Tech is down 2 guards, so they don't have a lot of depth on the bench. So that's where guys like a Jacoby Pemberton are going to have to pick it up and put some points up on the board because they can't go to the bench.
So a good start at home for Louisiana Tech. As you would expect, they are 11-0 inside the TAC this year, the Thomas Assembly Center. Bad pass was saved by Banton, and a jump ball is called.
Wow. I mean, a lot of hands inside, and you just look at the job here of Anthony DeRugi to find Pemberton outside. That's one of the things that's really good, especially when you're going against the Western Kentucky. You need a guy in that middle to get to the free throw line that can dish and has good vision, and DeRugi there finding Pemberton for the spot up 3.
Hello to Barbara Cruz, by the way, who's watching this one from your native Florida, Max.
There we go.
And look, I know I'm talking to a football player here, but I think basketball is much more of a contact sport than people realize.
Yeah, basketball is a very physical sport, and you look at just the amount of contact they're going to take on a day-to-day basis, just with guarding against guys, going up against, jumping. You know, there's a lot more physicality than people want to give it credit for. You know, you look at hockey, you look at football, you say those are physical sports, but it's a lot of human contact, especially when you get in the air with a lot of these guys.
All right, a turnover on Charles Bassey. He walked, but there he is down low.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, kind of shuffled that left foot. He was trying to establish the post foot with that and kind of just slides on him. So that's a walk. If the feet move, only one can move.
Got to have that pivot foot down.
Yes.
Look at that, 5 turnovers already for Western Kentucky. Now, I'd imagine when you were playing hoops, that was your game, the post game?
Yeah, I was a post guy, elbow jumper type of guy for the most part. But these guys now, the big men have to be able to play from all around the court, especially with the advent of small ball being played in the NBA.
Jared Savage finally gets Western Kentucky on the board.
And Savage is one of those guys that has to play off the ball. And he's a shot creator. So good job, and hopefully that'll get Western Kentucky woke up in this contest.
By the way, folks, the elbow jumper that Max is talking about, I saw it today. It's legit. You can shoot a little bit.
Yeah, I still have it. My back's a little tight, but I still have it.
Inside to Powell. Tech is really trying to work it in to their big man. And he is fouled. Well, if you like commercials, you came to the wrong spot. We don't take commercials on this Facebook broadcast, so let's check in once again with Olivia.
Well, you gotta love the comments we're already getting on Facebook. And Max, I owe you a huge apology now because I think you're gonna get a lot of flack for your sweater. Brian Oakes already said, "Go Tops" from Louisville, and he thinks he likes your sweater. So we'll talk about that later, and we might have to message Brian Oakes on that one. I'm giving you a hard time. He obviously went to Florida wearing bright orange. I went to Georgia, so that's our beef there. But guys, we talked about Louisiana Tech being undefeated at home at the TAC, 11-0, and can they get that 12th win here? Well, it's not just wins and losses. They do so much better across the stat sheet here at home. Average over 80 points per game on 47% shooting. On the road, 69 points per game on 43% shooting. They're the only team in Conference USA that is still undefeated at home. They are so proud of this area. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can preserve that and keep that tonight. But guys, it's going to be a fun one.
Olivia, thank you very much. And mark that one down. We're not even 5 minutes into the game. And Olivia, the Georgia Bulldog, has already fired some shots your way.
I didn't see any.
Florida Gator.
I know. I mean, listen, I get they got a good victory today against Texas basketball. But let's not forget, we still own the record in football, even though we've had a little bit of a slide since Kirby Smart arrived into Athens.
Well, still the best tailgate party in all of college sports, right? The Florida-Georgia game?
That's correct. Former world's largest outdoor cocktail party.
Gotcha.
That was just an outdoor party.
Well, thanks very much for the love, Odell Turner. He says go Tops, and he loves the Facebook broadcast. Brandon is watching this one from Brownsville, Kentucky. They're watching this one right here inside the Thomas Assembly Center. The place has aged pretty well, don't you think? Built in 1982. They've made some facilities upgrades, and it's a really great arena.
Yeah, it's still a very fun arena, and it doesn't look like it's as old as it is. I mean, as old as I am, but you can't tell, and I think it's a very intimate crowd as well.
All right, here is Oliver Powell, the junior from Rowlett, Texas, at the foul line, and that one is off the front of the rim. Powell is considered the strongest guy on the team, Max. His bench press is right around 285.
Yeah, about.
So you know what my follow-up question for that is? How much did you bench when you were playing for the Steelers?
I mean, I was in the high 4s, low 5s. I mean, I think on record, I think it was 515 was probably the most I benched in a single rep. But I had really long arms, so
it's tough.
So for when you see basketball guys and they have a decent bench, it's like, dude, you have to go so far to get a lockout. It's like you don't need to be strong. It's like as long as you're explosive.
Lob inside to Bassey, off the glass, count that in the foul.
And so Lamonte Bearden's in the game. This is one of the best passers on the squad. So when you look at Lamonte Bearden, know that he's looking to get the ball to Bassey. And great job of clearing out inside the bucket and, of course, attacking the rim. And now shooting the and one.
Looks pretty good at the free throw line. Charles Bassey has 3 points. He's a 74% free throw shooter. He's got a pretty polished game for a guy who's only 18 years old.
Yeah, considering how young he is, his touch, his rhythm, his feel. Even when they were at shoot-around earlier, he was shooting threes and hitting them. So the kid has nice touch and a great stroke.
Langston off the mark with the triple try. It's pulled down by Western Kentucky. By the way, Ryan Murphy is watching this one from Jeffersontown, Kentucky, and he's eating turnovers from Arby's as he watches. We had Chick-fil-A before the game.
Yeah. Arby's is okay, but nothing beats Chick-fil-A.
Well, right now, Western Kentucky's offense has been spearheaded by Jared Savage, who's got 2 made three-pointers already this afternoon. Jacoby Pemberton goes begging on the three-point try. And here comes Josh Anderson again, playing with that broken nose. They did not have a mask on this trip for him, so he's playing with nothing more than a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it looks like a breathe right strip on him.
It does.
Yeah. Savage trying to go up for 3 again. He was feeling himself. You know, that's the first one he's missed. He's 2 for 3 from outside, so keep going until you feel cold.
Well, Savage is coming off a 14-point performance against Southern Miss. He is the sharpshooter for Western Kentucky, firing at a 37% clip from long range. In and out on DeRougie, but he tracks down his own miss after a carom, and then he walked underneath. And a jump ball is called instead, and it goes to Western Kentucky. Really, he got bailed out by that jump ball call.
Ah, he did. That would have been a travel, but Anthony DeRougie, here's the funny thing. He gained about 15 pounds over the summer and coming back, and so he came back heavier. He had a 44-inch vertical. Now it's a 46-inch vertical. How do you gain weight and gain inches on your vert? It's amazing.
Every man's dream.
Yes.
Gain weight and jump higher.
Yeah, I wish that would have worked for me. Maybe I'd be playing in the NBA.
By the way, a 9-0 run for Western Kentucky right now. And we do have a couple of fans in our audience eating Chick-fil-A, so thank you very much for that. Mid-range game knocked down for Mo Muhammad.
And Rayshawn Langston doing a great job of driving into the hole, sucking in the defense, and getting the outlet pass to Muhammad for the easy 2.
Muhammad's given first name is Mubarak. Nickname is Mo, which they say is short for motor, as Lamonte Bearden lays it in on the other end for Western Kentucky.
And this lineup right now that Western Kentucky has is the lineup they'd love to start with, but of course with inconsistencies and trying to find that right point guard rotation, Banton's usually the starter, and now you see Bearden coming off the bench, the more veteran guy on this squad, but very good passer. Great job rushing for the rebound is Bassett.
And some great ball movement, to your point, Max, by Louisiana Tech inside there. Ed Gent is wondering how long until Josh Anderson has a highlight reel dunk. Remember, he's the guy with the broken nose, and even after breaking his nose late in the first half on Thursday, he still pulled off 2 very impressive dunks against Southern Miss. Ooh. Tough jump shot by Charles Bassey.
And you could see the offense all around the perimeters figuring out what was the best lane to get the ball into Bassey. He is the first option on this offense, and the outside's not available. And you saw it right there, 3 different looks to get him the ball inside.
And note the zone for Western Kentucky on defense, too.
Yeah, Western Kentucky is now going, looks like they're running their 1-3-1, which bails out to a 3-2, depending on the corners. So,
coming down to Western Kentucky on the other side of this timeout. And Olivia, what do you know?
Okay, guys, we have some more great comments. I'm monitoring them on my phone. I think my favorite so far, since I just got back from London myself, and I'm so excited someone from London is watching our game. That's Carl Atkins. He says, I gotta love the USA and FB. I don't know if he means Facebook or maybe football for Max, but he loves FB. Then we got Gary Souders eating Chick-fil-A while he watches, so I think we're all kind of in that kind of mood. But listen, I want to talk about Charles Bassey. You mentioned what a top recruit he was and how he ended up at Western Kentucky. Well, they have a huge history now of getting guys to play professional. In fact, my favorite thing is that with Rick Stansbury at Western Kentucky, 8 seniors, all 8 seniors to play for him have gone on to sign professional contracts somewhere. And in fact, Western just hosted their first ever pro day this October. They had more than 20 NBA scouts show up. And really, they have 2 players who are playing in the NBA now. That's Jeremy Evans with the Utah Jazz. Obviously, that's a favorite NBA team around these parts. And guard Courtney Lee is in his 11th season now with the Knicks. So that's why they're getting guys like a Charles Bassey, because they're getting these guys to sign contracts after they leave.
All right, Olivia, cheerio after that trip to London. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Top of the morning.
All right, that once again, you were just looking at Charles Bassey. Now, Josh Anderson is the guy that we've talked about a couple of times with the broken nose, and we do have some footage for you from when that elbow to the nose actually happened. And again, amazing that he was able to just bounce back up and come back for the second half, and he played pretty well. But look at this.
Yeah, Yeah, that was a razor sharp elbow. That looked WWE-esque, just coming down, and amazing, because you think about that, when that hits the nasal cavity, that messes with your eyes, that all your vision is a lot of sensory nerves up there. So for him to come back out and act like nothing happened in the second half is tremendous, and playing right there with, like you said, just the Band-Aid. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, the breathe right strip. He gets our toughness award for this one, and I mean, seeing that, you had to have been happy that you played with a face mask, right?
Yeah, face mask was nice. Of course, my teammate Ben Roethlisberger wouldn't feel the same way because he broke his nose with his helmet on. Quarterback face mask, a little different than a lineman face mask.
Did you ever break your nose?
No, I did not. Thank goodness.
I'm just thinking, like, for Josh Anderson, if he gets bumped on the shoulder, his nose is probably feeling it.
Yeah, he's going to feel everything, and the motion is going to be there. Oh,
what
nice.
A block by Mo Mohammed, but it's still cleaned up by Tolu Smith, the freshman from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi.
Yeah, going with two bigs in here, looking like a more traditional backcourt for Western Kentucky. And, of course, the front court, two big guys down the low post.
Well, we just heard a little bit about Olivia's last trip to London, England. Morgan Robinson is watching this one on Facebook. She lives in London, Kentucky, which I'm sure is a lovely town as well. We got a foul coming up on Mo Mohammed. His second.
Yeah, and you see Western Kentucky went to more of a 3-2 type of defensive front there. Normally they're a 1-3-1 so they can get to the wings, but this one, having two big guys in there, Smith and Son, I like this. I like the idea of that. Go ahead and spread the wings out from the top.
Okay. As a big man, would you want to play man or zone?
I think it depends on who the opposition is. If you have a really athletic, moving big man that can shoot from the outside, I think zone's a better way to go than going man-to-man if you're a bigger guy. But these kids today, they're so athletic and so versatile, you can do either.
Another turnover on Western Kentucky. Here it is. So again, Tolu Smith, as you mentioned, Max, the second big man to really complement Charles Bassey. And Rick Stansbury, Western Kentucky's head coach, said that if Tolu Smith can get it going as another option on the entry pass to the low block, Western Kentucky could really take off.
Yeah, they could, because you think about this. Tolu Smith about an inch shorter and about 5 pounds lighter. And imagine if you could get him playing like a Bassey. That is very scary, because a lot of these teams in Conference USA can't match the height that Western Kentucky has. And you can put another 6'10" out there that can move athletically, causes headaches for opposing teams.
Travion Hollingsworth lets it fly and puts it in.
Nothing but net. Hollingsworth's been quiet for most of this contest, but you look at the points, when WKU's come back alive in a very good way, especially when Hollingsworth starts getting the stroke going.
Oh, there was a foul on the three-point shot, and it fell for Amari Archibald. He goes to the line.
And Jake Omer, the one called for the foul, and 4-point play. It's James Harden-esque there. Catches a little bit of that right elbow on the finish. A great vision by Oliver Powell to dish it out to the three-point line to find Archibald.
And a great shot by Amari Archibald, the sophomore from Deltona, Florida. And that's your neck of the woods, right?
That's right. That's Central Florida, right up the street. I grew up in Longwood, so good to see the kid from Trinity Christian playing at La Tech. 3A quarterback of the year. I mean, 3A player of the year, quarterback position for Trinity Christian.
Max went to Lake Highlands Prep, and were you a two-way player?
Yeah, I was a two-way player and played all sports. Baseball, track and field, weightlifting, whatever I could do in season, except for soccer.
Off the tip, it stays with Tech, but only for a moment. Ball is pinballed around, and Lamonte Bearden comes away with it, the Buffalo transfer. Savage was trailing, but he got closed off.
And La Tech knows that they have to be great on transition to stay with this Western Kentucky team.
Transition opportunity here for Rashawn Langston, and it's off the front iron. Boy, the pace has really started to pick up.
Yes, it has. And La Tech knows that they have to get on top of it because the game was starting to get away from them. I mean, they were double the score, 18-9. So La Tech needs to put some points on the board and keep this game close.
That was pretty easy.
Yeah, great job. We saw that Bracey cutting around the lane. He got a lot of attention. Left Powell wide open for the easy pass in and put back. Nice job.
Well, Kent LeBlanc is wondering, can they both lose? I hate to break it to you, Kent, but somebody's got to win today.
This isn't the NFL overtime rule in regular season. Can't end in ties. But the bottom to the top of this division is only separated by 1 to 2 games, so very big game matchup for both La Tech and Western Kentucky.
Savage had to get that shot away with the shot clock about to expire, and then there's a foul at the end of it against Western Kentucky.
All right, let's take another look at that inbound pass. Bracey coming around, attracted 3 guys, and Powell's just in there like, give me the ball, and just puts it in for the easy 2. But that's the difference. When you talk about this La Tech team, it revolves around Bracey, so he's going to draw that attention just on something as simple as an inbound pass. 3 guys converge on him, and you leave 2 guys open, and Powell was right there in front of the inbounder.
Langston has it up top, 13 to shoot. Louisiana Tech trying to figure out this zone, and the pass is tipped by Charles Bassey. 3-point game. Let's check in with Olivia.
So we know we have some really good shot blockers on both teams in this game. We have a ton to look for, and of course that's how this game ended last year. So the freshman phenom center, Charles Bassey, he has more shots blocked than 68 Division I teams. Think about that for a second. That's just nuts. You don't hear about that ever. He's second in Conference USA in blocks per game. And then on the other side for Louisiana Tech, we have the sophomore forward, Anthony DeRuggi. And he's called AD by his teammates. He emerged later last season as a shot blocker, but he had most shots blocked in Conference USA by any freshman. That was 45. So maybe it's one of those 2 who are going to be our player of the game, but we want you to tell us. We want you to vote. In fact, guide us to who is going to be the player of the game. But those 2 certainly have our attention. And then today at Shoot-Around, we are saying, who are the best shot blockers of all time? So we looked that up. Again, comment who you think, but I'll go ahead and spoil it. It's Manute Ball as the leader, and then Bill Russell, Akeem the Dream, Mark Eaton. Then you got guys like Wilt Chamberlain and the Admiral. But you'll go ahead and fill in the blanks for who else you think is on that list, guys.
Well, one of your buddies, Max, I know is on that list, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, Shaq, I mean, was just a tremendous guy. Even Tree Rollins, below Shaq. Tree Rollins was a player coach for the Magic around my same time when I was there. So, I mean, great individuals. And when you look at the art of the shot block, like it's something that's a difference maker. It's almost like a dunk almost, because just has that type of fan fervor that gets people excited inside of a contest.
And the intimidation factor and the psychological impact that a block can have on the other team in particular. Difference maker. Tree Rollins, by the way, you said that he was what, like 2/3 legs?
Yeah, he was a very tall guy, but shorter torso.
One of the guys on our list played with Karl Malone, the mailman, Mr. Consistency.
Great at everything.
Yes. Well, I don't think that's how Louisiana Tech intended drawing up that inbounds pass.
And also showed off the vertical of Savage there. He went almost above the rim to get that ball.
By the way, thank you to Tom Van Gilder for watching our broadcast today. Appreciate the love on Facebook.
Oh, another offensive foul. Pushing, looks like, by Charles Bassey.
That's his second.
Yeah, look at it. That's a very touchy foul. I didn't think he applied the hook. I think which is tough for the referee to see on the right-hand side, to see the left-hand hook on there. But that's what he called, and now Bassey has to go sit. So now you see Jun in there. Yeah.
Langston knocks it down. Well, we saw one of our Facebook watchers predicting that Daquan Bracey is going to be the player of the game.
Well, I think when you look at it, a lot of guys are playing really well for this squad right now.
That was thrown off a Western Kentucky player, Matt Horton, and it's Louisiana Tech ball.
Yeah, Western Kentucky getting really sloppy right now, and actually, I take that back. It wasn't John N. It was actually Matt Horton in for Charles Bassey. But look at the inbound there on the replay. Yeah, very uncharacteristic of Western Kentucky, especially with what they did. They limited their turnovers in their 3-game win streak.
Archibald was open for a moment, then a runner by Bracey is off the rim. Rebound saved by Tech, and then the dunk attempt missed by Anthony DeRuggi. There was a lot of congestion at the rim.
A lot of congestion. The rim is still wobbling on the other side. DeRuggi was trying to throw it down with authority.
Savage spins. Looked like he was arm barred there, but no call, and it's Louisiana Tech ball.
Yeah, I thought there was an arm bar there as well, but the referee sitting right there sideline looking at it. Take another look at it. Savage spins, and there's a hand in there by Archibald, but lost his footing, so ball back in La Tech's hands.
Tie game over halfway through the first half. What do you expect when these two teams play? 1-point decision last year up in BG. DeRuggi, smooth move.
Nice up and under, and the way you attack that 1-3-1 zone, get a guy right at the free throw line. Nice move, gets Horton off his feet, ducks right under him for an easy lay-in.
And again, Max, Charles Bassey is not on the floor right now for Western Kentucky, playing again with 2 fouls. Does their offense look any different to you without him on the floor?
Hey, the offense looks a lot different. Looks like guys are kind of lost. Everybody's trying to figure out if they can slash into the hole. And Horton's playing more traditionally on the post. Almost makes it there. Transition, but yeah, this team is looking for, okay, what can we do? Now it's more guard-centric in their approach on offense.
Savage lights that one up. Boy, we had a great angle on that shot. That was pretty.
That was nothing but net there. Rim optional on that shot. And Savage, that's 3 threes in the first half for him.
9 points for the redshirt junior and homegrown kid. He's from Bowling Green, Kentucky. He went to Warren Central High School, literally just down the road from the university. Josh Anderson. Louisiana Tech wanted an offensive foul, and they get it.
And they draw the foul, and boy, I tell you what, Western Kentucky's in a lot of foul trouble early in this contest. Guys have fouls left and right, and La Tech is playing very sound basketball. Down 9 at one point, and you see they charged back, and they're only down 1 point right now in this contest.
Western Kentucky is averaging 14 turnovers per game. They have 10 today, so really they're lucky that it's only a 1 point game and they happen to be in the lead at this point.
It is, and I think it's also because of Savage. Those 3 threes have been huge in this contest for them. That's almost half their production, so if those are 2-pointers this game, they're playing from a deficit.
Anthony DeRuggi called. Not DeRuggi called for the foul, beg your pardon. We've got Amari Archibald at the free throw line. It was Josh Anderson called for the foul for Western Kentucky.
And look for this is a nice little change-up. Beard and the redshirt senior coming back into the game again.
Trying to figure out how many free throws the guy gets.
Yeah.
Rebound is swatted out of bounds, and it stays with Tech. Rick Stansbury not happy about that call.
It looked like it got pushed, but I think Horton was the last one as he was trying to go in and close the ball in. Got away from him. See how this is. Horton working on good position. Yeah, it looked like his right hand was on there, and the La Tech defender pushed his hand.
Bracy. Smith with the rebound for Western. Did you notice the lefty shot there?
I did notice the lefty, and that's Daquan Bracy. That's what makes him so dangerous. He can hit you with the right or the left, going towards the basket.
You're a lefty, right?
I am a lefty. It's good on the post when you're lefty.
Yes. Everything left. I mean, writing, eating, sports.
Yeah. Golf is right-handed. Darts is right-handed. Pool is right-handed.
Interesting.
So I played with both hands. I can write with both hands. Oh, nice steal by Bearden.
And a great
pass. 2-on-1.
Up to Anderson with the flush. There's the highlight reel dunk the Western Kentucky fans were hoping for.
Yeah, they got it. Nice transition off the steal. Bearden, great vision to dump it off to Anderson right at the last second for the two-handed slam.
Inside Pemberton, what a spin move. Off the right side of the rack.
Smith snatches that ball down, but that's one of the soft spots. When you go to 3-2 zone, that free throw line area, CUSA sign, that's the soft spot. So you want to get a guy in there who can affect and drive towards the basket.
Hollingsworth has been a little bit quiet offensively in this setup, but he gets himself to the free throw line. Here's that steal, pass, and dunk combo one more time.
Yeah, bounces off the knee of Archibald. Bearden picks it up, and then nice little bounce pass to Anderson. And of course, he has the wings, and he flies on that one.
Well, Eric Elliott loved that dunk watching on Facebook, and let's go once again to Olivia.
Guys, something Western Kentucky is not doing tonight as well as they usually do is getting to the free throw line. Just 1 for 1, when usually that's their calling card this season and last season. In fact, before this game, they had made 99 more free throws than their opponents. In fact, they've made almost as many of their opponents have attempted. So it's been a huge disparity as they've gone on to play. And last year they led the country with 324 more free throws attempted than their opponent. That's just wild. So they're disciplined, they don't foul too much. And Max, I want to ask you, how has that usually worked out for them? How do you get that huge ratio?
Sorry, couldn't really hear that well because I have the band playing in my ear. What was that again? What was the question?
When you're that disciplined and get to the free throw line so often and don't send your opponent to the free throw line as often, how does that ratio get so big? How do you make that happen?
Yeah, why do you think the ratio is that big?
You know, I think it's just it's attention to detail. It's the discipline aspect of it. He's like not being too aggressive and going out and attacking, allow things to be more so played within yourself, going more vertical as opposed to kind of on that angle, because that's when bad things happen. Well, you send guys there is when you're out of position and you're trying to make up space by jumping in the air and an incidental contact happens.
Folks, remember, we're watching and streaming this game with you on Facebook, so send us your questions to Max, me, Olivia. We want to answer them for you on the air. And actually, I got a great comment from Adam Westmoreland, who helped jog my memory. He thinks that Western Kentucky is going to keep their big man Bassey on the bench as long as it's a close game, and maybe if Western Kentucky starts to fall behind a little bit, then they bring him back in with the 2 fouls.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be the best approach for them, is to keep him on the bench. I mean, you have guys like Talu Smith, Matt Horton, John, who can play and fill in for him, because I think you have to keep him under wraps because you're going to need him down the stretch.
It was interesting talking to Rick Stansbury before this game, because he suggested that Western Kentucky, his team, plays better in close games because their focus stays acute than in a lopsided game one way or another when they might lose that focus a little bit.
Well, and you think about this, early in the year, Western Kentucky's had big leads in contests and blown them. So I think they've kind of learned from that. But it's going to have to be smart and playing discipline, not giving up the silly turnovers and not committing the fouls and getting into foul trouble.
Now, Western Kentucky, a couple of their Conference USA losses this year came in which they led by 15 points or more. They've ironed that out on this 3-game win streak. They're finishing much better, but all signs indicate another close down-to-the-wire game against Louisiana Tech in Ruston. Pemberton, nice pump. He penetrates and left that one short. Boy, you see the length for Tolu Smith on that rebound.
It is. And what a great job by La Tech, just spreading the ball around, trying to figure out where they can attack that zone, but just didn't come away with the points.
On the cut, Anderson. Wow, he hung forever.
I mean, beautiful flow, up and under, reverse layup for Anderson. And Western Kentucky back on top with a nice lead here. So La Tech, slow it down, look for your spots where you need to cut in there and start getting some points down, get some high-value shots.
Anderson is a Louisiana guy. He's from Baton Rouge. There's only one native Louisianan on the Louisiana Tech roster, by the way, and he is redshirting this year. Poked out of bounds, and it belongs to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, time's running down, so DeRougie had to take that shot so you don't get the shot clock violation.
And wait for it. There's that baseline drive again.
And the patience by Beard to drive in, and then great vision. Once again, he's that true point guard type coming in off the bench, whereas Banton's the bigger, more athletic guy who's the cutter. So great dynamic to have those two type of point guards.
Remember, on the dunk for Josh Anderson, Bearden had the great threat up to him as well.
Yeah, the team definitely looks different when Bearden's running the point versus when Banton is.
Look at that. Falls off. Hollingsworth tried to poke it back in, then there's a whistle.
Bearden wishes he had that back. He was looking at his fingertips.
What went wrong there?
Yeah, the wrist. There wasn't enough flick of the wrist on that one. But, wow, great second effort by Hollingsworth, and they'll get a nice inbound here.
That's right, the foul goes against Oliver Powell, one of Louisiana Tech's captains. Approaching the final minute of the first half. Hollingsworth gets bodied in the lane. That goes against Daquan Bracey, who's known throughout the Louisiana Tech program as Day-Day.
Yeah, and he's trying to draw that charge, but gets the blocking foul, and now they just switch other sides of the rim for the inbound.
Quite a scoring drought for Louisiana Tech. No points in over 3.5 minutes. Western Kentucky trying to build up a little bit of a lead here in the final minute.
And checking the clock there is Banton, who's very athletic. A guy can play off the ball or on the ball, so he's a very versatile shooting guard / point guard combo.
Banton with a runner. He drew the foul. Wow. On Jacoby Pemberton. That's a huge call, and it really bails Banton out.
It does. Time was running out. Banton was trying to get the ball off, and it looked like Jacoby Pemberton just went straight up. But referee saw it differently, and now you have Banton on the line, shooting foul, getting 2.
He left that one short. Banton comes in as just a 57% free throw shooter. A guy in a lot of ways, I think, Max, who summarizes what this season has been about for Western Kentucky. A freshman, he's showed some amazing potential, but it's just been inconsistent sometimes.
You know, you look at the body and the genetics, but you have to realize it's being controlled by an 18-year-old. So your body looks more mature than it is, so you tend to make those mistakes. You tend to be streaky. And, you know, think about this. Every game's a learning experience in college for him. So there are new things that you're going to come across every single game as you learn to refine yourself.
About a 4-second discrepancy between the shot clock and the game clock as DeRougie goes up strong, and it's blocked cleanly out of bounds and stays with Tech.
And it looked like DeRougie kind of got a little bit too far under the basket. I think he hit the bottom of the backboard as well as Tolu Smith being there bodying him. Look at it here. Yeah. It looked like Savage got a piece of it as well.
He did. Well, we got another great question from one of our fans on Facebook. Tom Van Gilder is wondering about Western Kentucky's potential as an NCAA tournament team. He notes that the Hilltoppers have looked great against Arkansas and Wisconsin, so some teams from primary Power 5 conferences. They struggled a little bit in conference play. They're just 4-3. What do you think, Max? Do you think they've got legs in the tournament potentially?
I think if this team continues to grow and no injuries, obviously, I think as Charles Bassey matures, I think you have great threats at the guard position, and you also have a lot of size down low in your front court between your power forward and your center. When you look at what Tolu Smith, if he can come along as well, Horton, John, that's a good little rotation for your team, as well as the shooters on the outside with Anderson and Savage.
Well, thanks for that question, Tom, or as he's known to me, Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
He's watching the game, so thank you very much, Uncle Tom, for chiming in. Out of bounds, and it comes to Western with 10 seconds left.
And Lotek trying to make a quick switch. Looks like they're going to get Stacey Thomas in there. 6'8" freshman. And WKU calls a timeout as well.
Fans, you can have exclusive access to the best matchups, stories, and features when you subscribe to Stadium Plus. Gain access to 500 premium events, including college football, basketball, and baseball. Go to watchstadium.com/stadium-plus/ or just Google Stadium Plus and click on the link to learn how to subscribe. I think I'm going to take the latter of those two options.
I think that would be a lot easier. Just Google it. When in doubt,
that's right. Fun game so far, don't you think?
This has been a great game, a tight game. You look at it as a 5-point difference. And, you know, West Kentucky, even though sloppy, still holding the lead right now.
Well, Glenda wants us to quit looking ahead to the NCAA tournament. She does have a pretty good point there. Western or Louisiana Tech just have to win the conference tournament to worry about that first and foremost, as Savage is fouled.
And looking at it, I mean, Western was in this position last year and lost to Marshall in the championship. But wide open look. I'm very surprised that La Tech didn't go man there and try and match up with the last waning seconds of the half. Savage sinks the first free throw.
Double figures for Savage in the first half. The Austin Peay transfer. It's interesting, we're talking about Western Kentucky and the NCAA tournament. Savage has NCAA tournament experience at Austin Peay. There's the heave by Archibald, and it bangs off the window. And we go to halftime with Western Kentucky up by 7. Remember, this was a back-and-forth tie game for long stretches in the first half. And Western Kentucky pulls ahead late. Let's go to Olivia.
Coach, your defense has locked down, not allowing a Louisiana Tech field goal since the 6-minute mark. What are they doing so effectively?
Well, we've been pretty active in that zone. You know, that's for 20 minutes, so we got to find a way to do it for 40 minutes. But we've been active. We limit them to one shot the most part. I ain't got many easy baskets.
You've put together a couple nice runs, and you told us on the road and in a hostile environment like this, you need to score. What can you do better in the second half?
Well, that wasn't where we started off. I think we had 5 turnovers in our first 7 possessions. We settled down a little bit. As long as we haven't turned it over, we've been pretty efficient.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yes, Coach, thank you very much. It is halftime between Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech. And let's check in with Maddie Morris, who has more on Conference USA. Running with the Pack comes your way on January 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And welcome back courtside to the Thomas Assembly Center. I'm joined by Tommy McClelland, the athletic director for Louisiana Tech. It's great to be here. Thanks so much for having us. And you've been with Louisiana Tech since 2013. And over the last 5 years or so, it's really been almost an unprecedented era for the athletic department in particular. And you must be so proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thanks for having me. And it really is kind of a time period in our university's history, not only in athletics, but at the university as well. I mean, we're growing in our enrollment. We're the fastest growing university in the state of Louisiana. All of our colleges are growing well. But, yes, of course, our athletics programs, whether it's our 5 straight bowl wins that we've had in that time period that you referred to, or the success that we've had on the hardwood or baseball, softball, we've had broad-based success, and we're certainly very proud of it.
Yeah, not just the major revenue sports like football and basketball, but baseball and softball have had multiple 30-win seasons. The men's golf team won a conference championship in 2016. 2016. And again, from a facilities perspective as well, this place is outstanding. Not just the gymnasium here, but the football stadium has undergone some significant upgrades. You've got field turf at the baseball complex, and plans for more perhaps in the pipeline?
Well, of course, you know, it's one of those things, if you're not growing, you're dying, and we've certainly had a lot of living, I guess you would say. You know, and we've been very blessed. We've got great supporters here that understand the vision of what we're trying to do. You know, when we made a decision to move into Conference USA, we knew that we were going to have to improve our facilities and really kind of be able to compete at that level from a facility standpoint. We've done over $45 million worth of renovations that have occurred in that time period from 2013 till today, and really about 95% of that has come from philanthropic giving. It's not from, you know, the Power 5 TV contracts that we use that money to go build those things. We've got great supporters here that believe in our vision and what we're trying to do. And so whether it's the press box at our football facility or south end zone at the football stadium, or again, as you mentioned, the baseball, the softball, we're completely redoing our track right now as we speak out there. And so again, many of them are more visible because of the sports, but we've done a tremendous amount of upgrades to our facilities over the last 5 or 6 years.
What's the response been like from the alumni base and the fans here in Ruston in particular about the move to Conference USA?
Well, it's been fantastic. You know, we spent quite a long time in the Western Athletic Conference, and it was a great league, but, you know, we were absent, if you will. I mean, our closest partner was New Mexico State, which is an hour farther from our farthest opponent now in El Paso at UTEP. So we're a lot closer. We're in our alumni bases a lot more, and it's helped with fundraising. You know, we're in Dallas area playing North Texas. We're in the Houston area playing Rice on a regular basis in all sports, as opposed to, again, a great league, but far away, as opposed to playing our games in Fresno and Idaho and Hawaii. It's really hard to build a fan base when you're kind of out of sight, out of mind. And so it's really, over the last several years, there's been a correlation of our move into Conference USA and our athletic and university fundraising increasing because we're more engaged with our alums now.
And I know your fans know the answer to this question, but for people who are maybe getting to know Louisiana Tech for the first time, who's the big rival in Conference USA?
Yeah, I think historically, you know, it's probably Southern Miss, you know, coming in the league, and it still is a big rivalry. I think this rivalry with Western Kentucky has grown exponentially. I mean, we really, is a team that we didn't play that much broad base, but now we've played. Todd Stewart, the athletic director at Western Kentucky, and I were talking about that just this week in our winter meetings. We've played Western Kentucky more in football than we have teams in our own division, because we've played them every year out of division, and we also played them in a conference football championship one year. And so that in itself develops a lot of rivalries, but this basketball rivalry has been one for the years, and then certainly the women's basketball, the Lady Toppers and the Lady Texters have played historically for a long time. So, you know, those are probably the two. UAB is another one that our fans really get excited about. And so, you know, it's been two of those, UAB and Western Kentucky, really weren't rivalries before we came into this league. And so Southern Miss, UAB, and Western Kentucky probably certainly are the three.
Regardless of sport, what is your favorite game day tradition here at Louisiana Tech?
Well, you know, I think it probably has to do something with the band. We have a tremendous band, and I think the way that they engage the crowd here and at our home games is certainly a great tradition. But I would say the best tradition is after a great win. We do it whether we win or lose, but after a win, being able to sing the alma mater and put your one finger in the air, it's hard to beat that.
Well, I can vouch for the band, believe me. I've been hearing them all game, and they do sound great. Tommy McClellan, the athletic director for Louisiana Tech, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's go back to Olivia.
Good stuff, Chris. Thank you. And we just want to remind everyone to keep using the hashtag on any of your Instagram posts. So again, it's hashtag WKU versus La Tech. That's hashtag WKU VSLATECH. Okay, here's a great example. It's from Holden and his sweet little dog Pansy. And Pansy is not enthused. Oh no, maybe Pansy's upset with some of the reffing like some of y'all's comments are. So I'm so sorry. Pansy the bulldog is not digging this game, but we hope you also So continue sending some of those in. We'd love to feature more of your posts. Now, during halftime, you guys just missed it. I think it was one of the best parts of the game. In fact, it was our moment of the game. It's a diaper derby. It's literally babies racing, and it's pretty hilarious. So look at these guys. Here you go, getting a lot of coaching from dads. Moms are on the other side. Older siblings are on the other side. And wait for it. Oh, man, hate to see that happen to a rookie. It's just a bad way to go out. Poor guy, look at him. So I'm going to go try to console him and make sure he's still in the building. Maybe he's on the bike warming up, ready for the second half. But we're going to get back to the second half pretty soon. Chris, back to you.
Yeah, Olivia, we were hoping for an interview or something with the winning baby.
Thought
but
you were going to get in there for some hard-hitting journalism.
Just looked like he wasn't up to it, but we'll bring things back courtside now alongside the two-time Super Bowl champion Max Starks. I'm Chris Fosters, and hey, the first half was filled with highs and lows, good plays on either end of the court. Jared Savage in particular was just that for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared Savage was savage from the three-point line. One of his three. He got the game going, especially for Western Kentucky, who was in a scoring slump early. 5 turnovers, no points, and then Savage comes up with 2 big threes. And here's the third of them. And what a great job, great division, 3 of 4 from the field at the three-point line. So great job by Western Kentucky.
So we spent all this time talking about Charles Bassey for Western Kentucky and the impact that he has on either side of the floor. Louisiana Tech missed its final 8 shots of the first half, and Bassey wasn't even in the game for a lot of that.
No, Bassey got into foul trouble early, and obviously with this expected to be a tighter game, you want to save him for the second half. So once 2 fouls got on him, they sat him down, and a great job of rotating in Horton, John, and Smith to fill the void of Bassey, but the offense definitely had to come from the guard position once Bassey went out the contest.
Well, fans, if you're looking for more great content from schools like the national champs, Clemson, and some of the top-ranked schools in college hoops, follow at the ACCD on Instagram and watch recaps of every ACC men's basketball game right here on Facebook. Again, that's at the ACCDN on Instagram. Final thoughts, Olivia, as we get ready to start the second half?
Well, I caught up with Coach Conkle from Louisiana Tech, and he said, we're just struggling against the zone, and that took away a bunch of our pace. And then offensively, he said, we didn't get to the spots that we wanted to. And again, he stressed the pace and that the turnovers early on were deflating. You know, they started on a 5-0 run and then started to slip away from there, a lot of that being pace, guys.
Well, that's very interesting given how the zone was giving them problems. That was one thing that you brought up, Max.
Yeah, I thought Louisiana Tech was doing a great job of really slashing in, establishing a guy right there at the free throw line. They just weren't finishing. And I think that's what's going to be the difference in the second half. They have to finish towards the basket and get the ball in the hoop. They want to contend with this Western Kentucky team.
Tech tries to set the tone with a bucket, and it's provided by Daquan Bracey, who, believe it or not, Max, was scoreless in the first half. He is the Bulldogs' leading scorer.
Yeah, leading scorer, and right there, just takes the initiative on his own, slashes right into the hole, and shoots a floater right over the outstretched fingertips of Bassey.
Travion Hollingsworth with the entry pass to Bassey. He's quickly double-teamed in a bad pass. Turns him over. Archibald all the way down. He got that one blocked by Delano Banton, who says it was all ball, but the referees disagree.
Yeah, referee was right there, so great job of pushing the issue with Archibald. Look, getting in there, DeRugi tips it. Archibald takes a great job, just blows past the defenders, and yep, Banton, I know he said it was all hands. I saw some wrist action there. I saw him hit the wrist.
Well, like you, I'm sure you never, ever committed a holding penalty in your entire career.
I don't even know what that word is. I'm going to be honest. Never heard that ever in my career.
By the way, folks, send us a question, please. I'm with a 2-time Super Bowl champion, a former ball boy for the Orlando Magic. Max Starks has crossed paths with a lot of people in his both athletic and broadcasting career. Let us know what we can ask him.
And Archibald missed both of those free throws. And that's a clutch moment there. Opportunity where Tech could have put some extra points on the board, you know, decrease this lead, but missed opportunity, and Western Kentucky's going back on the offensive.
Here's a good point from Gary Elwood watching this one on Facebook as Hollingsworth's jump shot is short. That's really interesting given what Gary had to say. This is Western Kentucky's 5th game in 10 days. Dead legs, maybe?
Yeah, I definitely believe that. And, you know, you think of just being on the road as much as they are not being at home. Hotels, buses, and planes.
It takes a toll.
It does take a toll. And right there, what a good job by Jacoby Pemberton. Just nice little jump shot, 8 to 10 footer.
Well, this has been a good response for Louisiana Tech to start the second half, just given how cold they were at the end of the first half, and it's a 3-point game. Western Kentucky still scoreless in the second half. Not anymore as Delano Banton finds the bottom of the well.
And great job, Banton. That's one of the things that makes him so good is he can, at 6'8", he can slash in the hole and make those shots, whether it's a floater on a layup or just pulling up and shooting the ball.
Archibald flanks that one off the flange. Powell tracks down the long rebound for La Tech. Look at this matchup. 5'11" Bracey on the 6'8" Banton, and then a blocking foul on the end line.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things to do, especially when you have a guy driving along the side. You're trying to establish yourself to where you want to be able to take the charge, but if you get that foot off that line and gets out of bounds, easy blocking call for the referee. Got to stay inbounds and then stay still.
And one thing that Western Kentucky really wanted to do defensively was keep Bracey out of the paint, and they've really done a pretty good job of that. What a pass to Bassey.
Bassey wasn't even expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it.
But great job to keep the ball in bounds, because most people will fumble that right out of bounds and give the ball back.
Extra pass to the top of the key. Bassey had second thoughts on that shot.
Yeah, Powell was right up on him, and no need to try and get too physical.
Banton missed that difficult layup. Tech pushes. Bracey penetrates. Gets swallowed up. The ball is kicked around, and it stays with Louisiana Tech.
Great hustle by Bracey. You saw a clog up as he was trying to drive to the hole, and the ball must have hit off a Western Kentucky defender, so good job by La Tech. Still maintain possession. Let's take another look at it. Or not.
Maybe after this possession. We'll see. Bracey brings that one all the way out to the timeline. 10 to shoot. He lets it fly, and he hits. Well, look out. Daquan Bracey has got 5 points in the second half.
And just a great, man, that's a great spot-up shot. And if he can hit that more, oh, and a nice steal.
Archibald to Pemberton. What a reverse. I know what you're going to say, Max. You know what set that layup up.
That's right. Nice aggressive tenacity by Bracey. And La Tech fans are getting excited. They're back in this contest. Game's all tied up at 30. But we were expecting a nice tight contest.
Yes, sir. Savage had it going in the first half. That shot's off the mark, and Louisiana Tech can take the lead. Pass up to Derucci. He throws it down. This is what an 11-2 run sounds like.
That's right, and what a great job. And of course, Rick Stansberry needs to calm it down, get his guys, reel them back in, because they've lost the lead. La Tech has answered to start this second half.
We'll take a look at some of the highlights of this 11-2 run for Louisiana Tech, giving the fans something to cheer about here at the Thomas Assembly Center.
And what a great job. Nice block there, and the finish by Pemberton. And then this one with the throwdown from DeRucci. I thought he needed another step. The guy has a 46-inch vert. He can sky from that location.
Like basically from the free throw line, it feels like. Let's go to Olivia.
Okay, guys, I'm with Lonnie Cooper from the 98-99 Louisiana Tech team that we're honoring today. And Lonnie, talk about that turnaround when that team came together under a new head coach in that year.
It was a good team, a really good team. A good year. We were here together, for 4 years. Some of those guys that was here, like Derek Smith and Gerard Henderson, was here for 3 years. And, man, it was a really, really good team. We had a good time playing together.
Now, preseason, you had high expectations, but you lived up to them in that season, winning Louisiana Player of the Year. As a kid who grew up in this state, what did that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot. That means the hard work that I put in paid off.
And that season, you won the Sun Belt. What was that season like? Especially, you didn't play at home a lot that season.
We didn't. We learned how to win on the road early. We had a few tournaments that we went to, and we won a couple of games. And also in that season, we lost some games, and on the road too. But other than that, playing with those guys for that season and me accomplishing Player of the Year that year, it was all because of those guys.
A season to be remembered for sure. Now that you look at this Louisiana Tech team and how they're undefeated at home, what do you see them doing so well?
I hope they can keep it up, because I don't think it's been another team to do it. I'm not for sure. But it's a good group of kids that he have, and hopefully they can keep playing hard, keep playing together, and they pay off.
Living Bulldog legend, Lonnie Cooper, thank you so much. Chris, back to you.
Great job, Olivia. Thank you very much. Yes, it is Legends Day here inside the Thomas Assembly Center, but forget about the past. The time is now, and Louisiana Tech has put on a show in the second half.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech came out with an adjustment to come in and attack that zone, and they've just done a great job of really passing the ball. And, of course, Daquan Bracey has been highly involved with the success offensively.
La Tech has scored 7 points in about a minute of game action. That's a torrid stretch, and it's primarily why they lead by 2 right now. And there's a foul on the end line as Josh Anderson was possessing for Western Kentucky. That goes against Jacoby Pemberton. Well, another timeout on the floor, and Max, I'm looking at the box score here, and in particular, Louisiana Tech still does not have a score in double figures. It's been a really balanced attack for the Bulldogs, would you say?
Yeah, I would totally agree. They're getting scoring from everybody on the court at different points. Transversely, you look at what Western Kentucky has. Savage, the only double-digit guy, and the next guy has 5 points. But you look here, a lot of guys have contributed, and Daquan Bracey is really taken over in this first half. You're like, oh my gosh, okay, he's got to be in double digits. No, only 5 points. But that last foul was really indicative because Jacoby Pemberton, who is their leading scorer, just committed his 3rd foul, so he's going to be sitting for a while. So now you're going to see even more transition on figuring out who the main scorer is for this team, and that's a challenge for Western Kentucky.
Well, we got a really good comment from one of our viewers on Facebook who said that Western Kentucky needs to get Lamonte Bearden back into the game, and I think he's got a good point. Bearden's ability to pass and score himself is something that Western Kentucky needs at this point.
And I think also Bearden matches up a lot better with Bracey, because think of Banton, who's 6'8" versus a 5'11" Bracey. That's a mismatch. No matter how fast you are, he can still duck underneath you, and I think Lamonte Bearden matches up better with him. And if they get him in, and you also get great vision from that point guard position with Bearden.
That's a great point, Max. And again, this has really been the story of Western Kentucky's season. This is a team that can beat number 15 Wisconsin, that can beat a ranked West Virginia team at the time. But then look at the teams that they've lost to as well. Missouri State, Indiana State, Florida International, Troy. Quality programs, but teams that Western Kentucky certainly feels they absolutely should beat.
Well, most definitely. If you're Western Kentucky and knowing how many guys you got that are in top 25 nationally in stats, you should be beating those guys. And you look at 3 of those losses were by a total of 5 points. So very tough games, but this is a problem. And Rich Pansbury said it. He said, that was a great 20-minute zone that we played to have a lead. Can we play 40-minute zone defense? And that's the difference for this Kentucky team. They don't have enough stamina yet and experience when you're starting 2 freshmen.
All right, well, I've got a question for you. It got so loud in here on that 11-2 run for Louisiana Tech, and you've played in Gainesville, you've played at Heinz Field, you've played in a couple of Super Bowls. Do you remember the loudest atmosphere in which you played a game?
Oh, I most definitely do, and it was the old RCA Dome for the Indianapolis Colts before they switched to the Field House. Loudest place, and they pumped in noise on top of it. We would not be able to talk to each other if we were in there right now.
Of course, that all went away when Peyton Manning was in the game, right?
Yeah. Yes, very silent on their offensive possessions.
There's a foul on that play, and it goes against Amari Archibald, and so that takes some of the air out of the balloon inside of the Thomas Assembly Center. This place was rolling after that outstanding start to the second half for La Tech.
And Western Kentucky just needs to establish a system. You see them trying to reinsert Bassey into the offense, getting a lot of looks, passing around to see what angle they can get a success from him.
Josh Anderson hangs but can't put it home. Look at Bracey sprint up the floor with a burst. He's stripped and goes to the line.
Now, Daquan Bracey, as you see, the aggression level has been turned up in the second half. Very quiet, very mild in the first half. But now you see in the second half, driving the lane, looking for guys. And this is the thing that Rick Stansbury was worried about, Western Kentucky coach, was you can't establish a trap on Bracey because then he'll start breaking down your zone. And like he's doing now, just slashing towards the rim. Creating contact fouls, hits the first one. La Tech goes as Daquan Bracey goes.
Well,
you can see him matching that intensity.
Absolutely. And again, Western Kentucky hasn't scored in the second half yet. So we got a question from Brian on Facebook. If Western Kentucky could be a second weekend team even in the NCAA tournament, and they need to play more consistent than this.
They do, and you know, the youth on their side, you've got a sophomore, 2 freshmen starting, and you know, no seniors except for Bearden on this squad, so a very young team. Everybody else is new except for Bearden from last year.
What a block by Powell underneath, and by the way, 2 points for Western Kentucky in the second half, so they're not completely shut out, but they need to stop on the defensive end, and they won't get it after Archibald puts it in.
Nice floater there in the lane. And you see La Tech has figured out the zone by Western Kentucky, so they are attacking from the top of the key on the angles and having a lot of success.
That drive goes nowhere for Josh Anderson. He lags behind, and Louisiana Tech has numbers at the moment. Archibald with the kick into the corner. Langston, that was Anderson who caught up and played great defense, but as he tried to wrestle that one away, he had his foot out of bounds.
Yeah, this is tough. Western Kentucky needs to settle down and establish their game again. And this was, I mean, great clean strip by La Tech. Nice little swat hit.
Fast hands. You can see the players, as conditioned as they are, breathing a little heavy as DeRuggi is turned away at the rim by Savage, and then he's fouled on the floor and goes to the line.
And that looks like it might be the third on Bassey there. DeRuggi with the pump fake and the bend over catches Bassey.
You're right, that is on Bassey, his third.
We'll take another look at it. The missed dunk. He bends down and shoves into Bassey more so than Bassey falling on top of him. So inbound here for La Tech.
Amari Archibald to flip it in. Throws it short to Powell. One dribble and a kick out. DeRuggi walked.
Yeah, a little bit of a shuffle of the feet before he decided to put the ball down.
Over 4 minutes without a point for Western Kentucky.
Bassey still trying to establish himself down low.
Another turnover. Bracey on the way, lays it in.
And the transition points for this La Tech team has been incredible in this second half.
Hollingsworth is off the mark. Tech on the move again. Langston inside, off the glass.
And the scoring has exploded here in the Tech.
Listen to the crowd. Max, I just can't believe how stark this game has been in comparing the first half to the second half. It's like La Tech is a completely different team.
They came out and I don't know if they figured out that they had a speed boost button they could hit, but they turned it on this second half, and it got ignited by DeQuan Bracely scoring the first couple of points to start this half, and then his intensity, the guys have just matched it, and you saw that last two breakaways, Rayshawn Washington goes, Langston goes coast to coast for the last score, and now you look at La Tech, a 10-point lead over Western Kentucky when they were down 2 going into the half.
Well, if you enjoy this, we have more college hoops coming your way tonight when San Francisco visits San Diego. You can catch the game tonight at 10 p.m. only on WatchStadium.com. Forget about those two schools, but there's no love lost between those two cities, San Francisco and San Diego.
No, there's none at all. And when you think about this from the baseball perspective, from the football perspective, a lot of bad blood for a long time.
You got something that you want to say?
Oh, I do. Points in the paint. Who do you think's leading?
I'm going to guess, well, I would say Western Kentucky.
Normally they would, but La Tech, 16 to 12 points in the paint. Rebounds. Who would you guess would be leading?
Got to be Western Kentucky.
It's La Tech again, 26 to 20. Big stat when you think about how this second half, how this surge has come for La Tech. Those have been the very key things that Western Kentucky usually focuses on that La Tech is beating them at right now.
Bassey works his way in and draws the foul.
I think that's what the second attempt for Bassey in this contest. Field goal attempt, I should say, in the second half.
This is a guy coming in with back-to-back 17 rebound performances, and he's got 2 rebounds in the game today.
Yeah, foul trouble early has really hampered his progress, and you can't really be aggressive in the glass if you have 2 fouls, and now he's sitting with 3 fouls, but got some points on the board. First free throw was good.
Second free throw is good.
And just a great stroke. You don't think of centers having a great free throw shot, but his looks very natural and a very skillful shooter.
One thing that Rick Stansbury cautioned us about is that when you look at the 5-star label, Mohammed puts that one back up and off the front of the rim. Here comes Western Kentucky with a chance to string some points together. Anderson draws contact. That's an offensive foul.
Draws the charge.
And that is Anderson's 4th foul. But the point I was trying to make there, Max, a 5-star label means what a guy's potential is, not where he is at one particular moment in his career.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. He has the highest ceiling.
Yes.
For improvement, and that's what you're trying to see with Charles Bassey. Obviously today, early foul trouble kind of hampers that progression and trying to be smart. Coach is keeping him in there with 3 fouls. He's like, hey, you need to learn how to play when you're in foul trouble because there might be an opportunity late in the game where we're going to need you offensively, so you need to be smart.
You said it, Rick. Go Dogs. They're rolling right now. 11-0 at home this season. This is why. DeRougie lights it up.
And DeRougie's had highlight dunks, 3-point shots, elbow jumpers. You see why he's one of the best guys on this team. Him and Bracey, really athletic and getting the job done for the Bulldogs.
Bassey, great pump to wait for traffic to clear.
And Bassey accounted for the last 4 points for Western Kentucky.
Rashawn Langston. That was basically a one-handed shot, and it's pulled down by Tolu Smith. What a pass to Smith. And now Western Kentucky is starting to get back into rhythm.
And they're in a different front now. Look at this. They got 2 of their big guys in this game running more of a 2-3 zone because you got 2 big men in there. Tolu Smith playing that bottom outside position, Bassey in the middle. Then you got Bearden and Hollingsworth at the top of the key, and Savage playing the off outside.
That's a kick ball off Lamonte Bearden. Olivia, what do you have?
Okay, we have another really good Instagram post, still from Holden, who we're now learning has 2 dogs. I hope there are more because I want to see these posts continue to come. This one's Shrimp Love. Now that's a creative dog name. He says he's loving the talent, and I'm just flattered to be on the screen while he's not looking away. So that's a pretty fun one from Holden. Thank you, Holden. If you've got more animals, please keep them coming. So something interesting with Louisiana Tech, they have 4 lefties on their team, and it's the 2nd year they've had that. Oh yeah, and the year before that, they had 6 lefties. The reason this is so bizarre is because in the general population, just about 10% of people are lefties. We asked Coach Conkle before the game, well, do you recruit lefties? What's the deal? He said, no, it's a coincidence more than anything, but I do like it. It balances the floor. So we're seeing some great left-handed drives, guys.
Olivia, thanks. Are you a lefty, by the way? We know Max is.
No, I'm not. And he says they have one player who's ambidextrous.
That's a special guy right there. That's ambidextrous. Yep. That's Daquan Bracey. And we saw that early on.
Yeah,
going up for a shot with his right hand and then switching it to the left because the guy was looking like he was starting to attack. So, I mean, you think about that, lefties are a very nuanced and something that's special that you have to contend against, because usually when you think of weak side traps and things, that's to a lefty's advantage with their strong hands. So you have to be really conscious of those guys on the floor because it is unorthodox to have to go up against them.
Again, Daquan Bracey has scored all of his points in the second half, and I thought you hit the nail on the head where he's just amped up the aggressiveness. He's calling his own number a lot more here in the second half.
Yeah, he realizes that for this team to get going, they're a little lethargic. He needed to provide that boost, and he's done that because you've seen other guys respond to it. Derugi has picked up his pace of play, and also Muhammad has been jumping in there. And Pemberton, even though he has the foul trouble, Pemberton's been more aggressive on the shot. Rayshawn Langston, of course, being more over shooting the basketball in the game. So it's definitely resonated with the entire team.
You know, I'm surprised it took you until the second half to slip in a football reference like that.
I know. I was trying so hard.
You're doing a great job, man. Tech is trying to keep its foot on the gas. Now 5 to shoot. Shots in for Rayshawn Langston.
And as time expiring, Langston pulls up. Doesn't matter, there's a hand in his face, and he executes.
Western Kentucky sticking with the 2 bigs. Smith with the double zeros, Bassey number 23 in red and white. It goes to Bassey. And 1.
And Western Kentucky starting to pound the ball in the paint, guys. You look at the last 8 points in there, and 2 for 2 free throws. Tolu Smith had a shot as well, and Bassey, tough finish towards the glass. And that's what Western Kentucky needs to start doing. They want to get back into this contest. You've got to get Bassey involved.
And Charles Bassey, a 5-star recruit from Lagos, Nigeria. He was discovered selling chickens on the side of the street in his hometown in Nigeria. He came over to the United States at 14 years old, and he is blossoming really before the nation's eyes here under the tutelage of Rick Stansberry and Hensi Arianto on the assistant coaching staff for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, what a tremendous story. I mean, selling chickens to being one of the top college freshmen, if not one of the best big men in the country.
Oh, and he had the rebound poked out of his hands by his own teammate. Some miscommunication underneath between Jared Savage and Charles Bassey.
Yeah, that's one of the tough things. Everybody's trying to go for the ball. Sometimes you don't get to see the same color. It's just like, no, I see opposing hands. I need to strip at it.
No, it's so just instinctual. Hard to turn that off. Now it's coming back to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Bracey tried to go with the pick and roll and hit it off to Powell. Powell was not expecting it. Dribbles right off of his leg, out of bounds.
Max astutely mentioned how Western Kentucky has rededicated itself to the inside game. There they go inside again, wrapped around pass to Bassey, and he's fouled by Jacoby Pemberton. And that's the 4th on the redshirt sophomore Pemberton out of Lancaster High School in Dallas.
And that's going to send him to the bench at least for 5 minutes or so, because, I mean, you still want the scoring from Jacoby Pemberton because he's a guy who's been very involved, and missing him is a process. But Bassey, think about this. Great job shooting the basketball. I know he's 74% on the season, but he's perfect so far in this contest, 4 for 4.
And he is a 4-time Conference USA Freshman of the Week. 5 for 5. 7'3" wingspan, by the way, for the 6'11" Charles Bassey. What was your wingspan? What is your wingspan?
My wingspan is right at 6'11". So he has a good 4 inches on me. But I have pretty long arms.
You do. Archibald weaves his way inside, left his feet, got the pass away. Bracey puts it up, puts it in.
Puts it up and knocks it down. Daquan Bracey, I mean, he is just killing it right now. 4 for 4 field goals, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Has not missed a shot yet.
This guy is scalding hot right now. Jared Savage was hot in the first half. And if that's a foul on Charles Bassey, no, it's a foul on Tech. Okay. It goes against Oliver Powell in the battle for the rebound. Again, Bassey's playing in foul trouble, as you know, Max, with 3 fouls, so that would have been a big call.
Looking at how far they're behind, you can't risk taking him out because he's such an offensive juggernaut. Great finish there. Was that Hollingsworth?
Yes, it was. Travion Hollingsworth, the sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky.
6-point game here. Tech with the 6-point lead, 49-43.
DeRuggi, our guy with the 46-inch vert. Still in the corner there as Archibald flips it up. A brick, and it belongs to Western Kentucky.
Off the fingertips of Powell. And Western Kentucky's lucky to get away with that. It's a chance for them to really cut down this score, potentially in half. 6-point game. They need to get in a rhythm here in this contest and really take over this game.
And they've made 4 of their last 5 shots, so that certainly helps. Tolu Smith, ball on the hardwood. He's blocked by DeRuggi. Tries to save it, and he does. But again, the shot clock was supposed to reset, and it didn't, so that is why play is stopped. It was close if that blocked shot hit the rim or not.
Doesn't look like it. They took 10 seconds off of there, off the shot clock. It was at 15, now it's at 5. Timeout called? What's going on?
Well, the referees are trying to determine if the shot clock should have been reset or not, and then if it was supposed to be reset, how much time should be on it now for a Western Kentucky inbounds.
Let's take another look at the play. Yeah.
So that was after the rebound.
Yeah, that was after it happened, and apparently decided to give him a fresh shot clock, fresh 30 seconds.
Bearden inside. Missed the lay-in. Bassey's second try, no, but a foul. Boy, there's just a lid on the rim for Lamonte Bearden. I'm not sure how that one didn't fall either.
I know, a great vision, slashed the lane. He had a clear, I mean, from our angle, we were looking right at it. Great shot. See it, look at that, just wide open. Guys just stepped away, and Bearden that last second just kind of double clutched it, going to the hole.
And parting of the seas there as Bassey is still cruising right along at the foul line.
Yeah, perfect. What is that, 5 for 5?
6 for 6 now.
6 for 6 now, awesome.
7 for 7. Boy, shortchanged him one. My bad.
See right there, perfect as well. Daquan Bracey and Charles Bassey are both perfect shooting right now.
He's still 100% at the free throw line. Archibald off the front of the rim. Bearden grabs it for Western Kentucky. Tavion Hollingsworth. Western Kentucky would love for him to get going. He's averaging nearly 16 points per game. Smith. Hollingsworth with the step back. Rebound to Smith. It's loose. And a jump ball.
And a scrum at the bottom of it. Tolu Smith, though, is still holding on to it.
Let's check in with Olivia.
Okay, who let the dogs out? Because now the dogs are coming in. I'm loving it. So guys, please keep sending us your dogs. This is making for such great entertainment at my table over here. This is from Candy. This is her dog Jasper. He's not impressed with Western Kentucky's performance this half, and Jasper's a tough critic. We're noticing it. So we have a fan of the game, and we want to share it with you, and we want you to continue to contribute. If you see one in the background, but I think we found a pretty good one. We've got two librarians. Here you're seeing just the one. I've been watching him all game. Every time Western Kentucky tries to take a free throw, he is all over the place. He is a ton of fun to watch. That's the fan of the game. Look at him. They're having a great time. And apparently they go to every home game. That's them live right now. Okay, so this August, the Bulldogs spent a full week in Costa Rica, and they just had a great time. And they had two different halves that they split the trip up in. So it was two exhibition games, and they first visited an elementary school. They put a lot of things into perspective, heading to one of the most beautiful areas in the world. So the first half of the trip was spent in the vibrant capital of San Jose, and that was the one time they went outside San Ramon for their game. And the biggest impact is what Coach Conkle said, is spending that time with that elementary school. Look, you can see him traveling on foot, interacting with some of the locals. And then the second half of the trip, they went to the Pacific Coast, and they snorkeled and jet skied and rode ATVs and ate amazing food. They just had a blast. But they also went ziplining, guys, which I don't know if you've done. I have not. But it includes the Superman zipline, where you lay down horizontally. You go up to 60 miles per hour for almost a mile long. So some of the guys did that. Sounds like an amazing trip.
That sounds like an excursion. Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been to Costa Rica a couple times, and it is beautiful country. I will agree with that, but those guys look like they were having way more fun than when I went.
You weren't going on anything 60 miles per hour? You're staying a little more low-key than that?
Yeah, a little bit slower. Went fishing on top of just hanging out with friends and family.
Tavion Hollingsworth flips it up, puts it in.
Great move by Hollingsworth, and doing a great job in this contest. He's been relatively quiet in the game, and you know, that's unlike him. You know, he's usually leading the scoring right up there, top two. Right now, he's third, fourth on the team in scoring.
Bracy with a burst, and it catches the front of the rim and rolls through.
He's so quick when he makes that decision to just knife into the lane and puts it up and over Bassey.
Jared Savage hooks a pass to Tolu Smith, who's blocked by DeRuggi. He gets it back and draws the foul. Boy, DeRuggi can fly, man.
He can jump from anywhere on the court. What a great job for DeRuggi to recover. And here's another look at Daquan Bracy. Yeah, Charles Bassey can't foul. He's in the zone right now on fouls, so he's going to be very touchy. So it's good that, you know, Tech is going to attack him because they know that, hey, he has to play soft. Can't play aggressive on us.
Off the miss, DeRuggi's got it. Rashawn Langston. Louisiana Tech wanted a foul called on Western Kentucky for an over-the-back, and they got it. Join us on Thursday for Stadium's next Conference USA game on Facebook. UTSA visits these Hilltoppers in Bowling Green. You can catch the game exclusively on Facebook at 8 p.m. Stadium, welcome to the game.
And over the back call was called, looks like on Savage.
Number 1 on him. 4-point game. And it won't go to 6. Big possession here for Western Kentucky. They've been down for what feels like the large part of the second half. Daquan Bracey has a shoe untied. And it's Louisiana Tech ball.
Yeah, La Tech ball, and La Tech playing, it's primarily a man team that will switch into zone, but, they were in man just there and following and, get a turnover off of that, pressuring in the face of Western Kentucky.
Steve Lowe, watching this game on Facebook, points out that Old Dominion got beat. Marshall is losing right now. So, again, a big win at stake for both of these teams within the Conference USA standings. Looks like we're playing a volleyball game the way that was spiked out of here.
And Savage coming in, the late help, and doing the SWAT attack. And Western Kentucky with the ball again.
Another chance to knife away at this lead a little bit. Tavion Hollingsworth with the dish down low. And Smith is blocked and fouled by Oliver Powell. Number 4. Watch this block.
Yeah, let's go back and watch that. Previous possession. Oliver Powell goes up. Smith and Bassey both come at it, but help side defense by Savage with the SWAT.
That's not even his primary game. He's a shooter.
And 4th on Powell, but Smith struggling right now from the free throw line.
He's just a 50% free throw shooter. He missed the first, and the law of averages kicks in.
Yeah.
For as well as Louisiana Tech has played in the second half here, Max, they do have 3 players with 4 fouls.
Yeah, they've been aggressive. I mean, Pemberton is the one that comes to mind right off the top, and obviously Mubarak Muhammad, or Mo Muhammad, the other guy. That's why you haven't seen him on the court. You've seen a lot more of Powell and DeRougie playing low, and Langston, who's primarily a bench guy, getting a lot of minutes on the wing.
That foul goes against Tolu Smith of Western Kentucky. Both teams in the bonus, and now Western Kentucky in the double bonus. Oliver Powell is a 70% free throw shooter. Coming into this game, he was actually tied for most free throws on the team, so he gets to the line a lot, and he hits them more often than that.
1-on-1 situations. Got to hit that first one.
Just leaving points off the board.
Yeah, especially in this tight contest, a 3-point game.
Bearden is fouled. Hard, as a matter of fact. And that's on Oliver Powell, Max, and he's gone.
Yeah, he's out this contest with that one. And that's tough because Powell's been the guy that's really been aggressive with Charles Bassey and Tolu Smith in there. So now you got to bring in Muhammad, who's also sitting there with 4. So he's in a very touchy situation. And you don't want to go down losing 2 of your forwards against a Charles Bassey with less than 5 minutes left in this game.
And as Brian points out on Facebook, remember, Western Kentucky gets to the free throw line a ton. They've shot 100 more free throws than their opponents have this year. It's a close game. They're starting to get to the line now.
Yeah, and they're in double bonus. So that means they're going to automatically get 2 free throws every time they're fouled.
That was the 19th free throw attempt for Western Kentucky today.
Yeah, 2-point game for this contest. And La Tech has a narrow lead, trying to hold on to it.
On the cut, a kick out to Langston. And the junior from North Pulaski High School in Little Rock picks up a big triple for Louisiana Tech. That gets the crowd back into this game. That snaps a drought of about 2.5 minutes for Tech.
A great job. You gotta love the 3-point looks there. Let's take another look at that 3-point attempt Archibald knifing in the lane, sees Langston's uncovered, passes it to him, sets him up, knocks him down.
And our fan of the game loves it.
He loved it. He had perfect position as well.
I tell you what, Max, Louisiana Tech came into this game shooting under 33% from three-point range. They've hit some big distance shots in this game, though.
They have, and that was it for Muhammad, who was charged with the foul. That's 5 for him as well. So Powell and Muhammad are both out of this game for the rest of it. So La Tech down 2 big men. You're seeing some guys that normally get not a lot of work are now in this game. Stacey Thomas replacing Muhammad.
Louisiana Tech is not a very deep team, and injuries are a big part of the reason why. Their leading scorer, Derek Jean, a senior from Miami, was injured earlier this year. They do not expect to get him back this season. Bracy couldn't get that one to stick, and Bassey pulls it in for Western Kentucky.
Even though Bracy was trying to contend with him. Yeah.
Fearless.
Yeah, he's fearless. He's like Mighty Mouse.
Into Smith. Back out. Savage wants the screen. He follows it. 3 to shoot. Bearden from deep. Langston rips down the board.
A great job by La Tech on the defensive side to deny the inbound pass, or I should say the post pass to Bassey, getting frustrated down below. And now they got the ball back, so great job forcing a last-second shot. Very low percentage shot for Bearden, being that far away from the three-point line.
Now 7 to shoot on the other end for Louisiana Tech. Langston lets it fly. And the rebound was off Louisiana Tech. Tavion Hollingsworth was fighting for it for the Hilltoppers. Olivia, let's check in.
This is so much fun. We have more from Holden, and Holden, we just need you to tell us how many dogs you have. This is getting outrageous. So this is Minnie. She's the center, and she looks pretty big by the looks of that. And then he also has Sherman, and Sherman is looking out for some Hilltoppers defense. And we got a whole family of Hilltopper fan dogs, but we don't discriminate here at Stadium. We also are going to have a cat coming up, and that's by Trisha Harper. Also a Hilltopper, as is Rico, Hilltopper. So all these pets are all Hilltopper fans. So if you're a Louisiana Tech fan and you're watching at home, send us a picture of your animal, because right now they're outnumbered. They just are. So here at Louisiana Tech, they know how to have a very good time. Head coach Eric Conkle and the women's basketball coach Brooke Storr did a little remake of a very famous McDonald's commercial, but made famous by Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, of course. So you'll see them doing this. Okay, pretty good. They're getting creative. Top of the arena. That's pretty good. Look how much fun they're having with that, too. So it made us wonder, what's the best sports commercial? And we were kind of racking our brains today at Shoot Around, and what we were saying is the Be Like Mike commercial's got to be one of the most famous. I like with the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers and Clay Matthews. I think those are hilarious. That's my favorite team, so I'm a little biased. But, guys, what's your favorite sports commercial?
Well, I certainly like the discount double check, too,
Yeah.
Olivia. That's a good one. What about you?
You know, I mean, there's so many good parody ones. I mean, the Jordan and Bird one was awesome. I like the Mean Joe Green. Since I'm a Steelers fan, the Coca-Cola commercial. Come on. Who doesn't love that type of sports commercial?
That's a great one, too. And remember, Thursday at 7 p.m. on Stadium, North Texas travels to Norfolk, Virginia to take on Old Dominion. Stadium, the only 24/7 network available on both television and digital devices without a cable subscription. Stadium, welcome to the game.
I got another one.
Yes.
I got another one. The ESPN commercial with Big Ben when he was a rookie. They said, don't they know this is a fire drill? And he was picking guys up and carrying them out of the Sports Center building. That was another good one.
You were in a commercial for Campbell's Chunky Soup, right?
Yeah, I did a Chunky Soup one with my mom, was the Campbell's Chunky Soup mom. And I also did a McDonald's commercial as well. That was pretty funny. Look at that, going up, and La Tech, I mean, out-rebounding this Western Kentucky team who you know, averages a taller height percentage, and you look at, it's pretty crazy. Bassey hasn't gotten too many rebounds in this contest.
Ten to shoot now for La Tech. What a crossover. Bracey got that one to go.
It's like he was on an escalator on that one. He just hung and kept elevating, switching hands, and touches it off the glass.
Savage fades away. Rebound out to Archibald.
And even though you think this has been a disadvantage for La Tech having two guys foul out in this contest, but bringing in a fresh Stacey Thomas, he is very aggressive on Bassey and just all over him like a gnat, and it's causing trouble, and they can't get the inbound passes that they want, so it's forcing guys to hold the ball late and rotate around the top and shoot the lower percentage shots as opposed to getting it in there to Bassey.
Fans, don't miss the best college basketball show on Facebook. Catch College Hoops Weekly Wednesdays at 7:30. We will preview the biggest matchups and take a look back at the top highlights of the week. We react to fans' questions and comments just like we're doing on this broadcast. You can catch College Hoops Weekly every Wednesday at 7:30 only on Facebook.
So Savage with the technical, second foul for him, but that's giving free throws and possession to La Tech.
Well, here's your boy Stacey Thomas, Max. He's just 2 for 9 at the foul line this season. 2 for 10.
Guy that doesn't get a lot of minutes, but you know, with the technical drawn on him, he's a guy that can be very aggressive because he is fresh and he does have a lot of fouls to give.
It's a good-looking free throw for the freshman from Houston.
Knocks it down, extends the lead to 8 for La Tech. A minute and a half left to play. So great game by Tech. They're truly a different team at home than they are on the road.
And Daquan Bracey, who's got the inbounds pass now, has been a different player in the second half than he was in the first half when he was scoreless. 16 points for the 5'11 junior from Baltimore, all in the second half.
And Western Kentucky, you see now playing man coverage when it's normally a zone defense. Had to change up some things. Hopefully that bodes better for them.
Bracey is tripped and is fouled, and fans, let us know on Facebook who you think or who you want to be the player of the game. Player of the second half, Daquan Bracey, no doubt about it, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. Daquan Bracey would be a great pick for me. You look at DeRougie, had some very highlight-esque plays, the dunks, the three-pointers at key moments. So let us know, Facebook. Chime in, throw some names out there.
Bracey. Bracey coming off a career-high 25-point performance against Marshall, and he's followed that up in a big second half here against Western Kentucky, even with that missed free throw. Final minute. Archibald nearly stole that one, but he stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, great effort by Archibald, anticipating the baseline pass, because you know Western Kentucky has to shoot the three ball. They can't be shy and try and dump it on the inside. Right now, they need three-pointers. They want to get back in this game. 56 seconds left to go in the contest.
Western Kentucky is a top 5 team in Conference USA in terms of three-point shooting percentage. How about Louisiana Tech finishing strong, though, on a 7-0 run right now after it was a 2-point game? 51-49 at one point, 58-49 right now. Well, you saw that take by Daquan Bracey. It is our play of the game.
And what a great job by Daquan Bracey. Great job, just jumps in, the elevator. Just keeps escalating, gets right underneath, switching from right to left. Talk about the ambidextrous play of him. Switching from the right hand to the left to get underneath Bassey and kiss it off the glass.
We saw this guy at shoot-around. He's built like a rock.
Yes.
And at 5'11", he can hang with the big bodies in the paint, as you just saw.
Yeah, he can hang with those, and he's not scared. And, you know, he almost reminds you of like a running back type of build, like a slim third down type of back, like a Darius Geis from LSU. But, I mean, just laser quick, the way he gets in and out of the cuts, slashes into the lane, and like you said, being fearless, you have to be that if you're a slasher.
Hey, man, this is Ruston, not Baton Rouge, by the way.
I know it's not, but it's still in the state of Louisiana.
You're right about that. Offensive foul, and it was Gracie who drew it.
Drew the charge.
There's Corey who wants Gracie for our player of the game.
They're trying to trap Western Kentucky, but La Tech breaks it easily.
He was
now trying to run out the clock, trying to get some extra time off.
And finally a foul.
They talk about not wanting, to get those double teams on Bracy. Do not trap him because he can break a trap. They did that in the corner. They get across half court.
Josh Anderson has just fouled out of the game, and they serenade him on his way to the bench here inside the Thomas Assembly Center.
And we see coming in for the last couple of minutes, Jake Omer, who's normally a sharpshooter. Thought he would have made an entrance in this game a lot sooner with his prowess for shooting, especially the three ball, considering they were down about 9 to 8 points with a minute left. Langston knocks down both of those.
He's had a good second half. Beeren with a drive, hard foul. He springs right back up. Well, here's another counterpoint to our player of the game question. Brian is chiming in. 11 points off the bench for Rashawn Langston today. And again, the good second half. He's maybe a dark horse candidate.
Yeah, I think he's a dark horse. He's played, he can come up with some really big shots. We talked about that three he made when the game was a 2-point game to bring it back with a 5-point lead.
Huge shot.
Huge shot for the momentum shift.
And there he is, the aforementioned Rashawn Langston. He goes to the line. But we do have our player of the game to announce, and as good as Langston has been, our player of the game is Daquan Bracy.
I completely agree. I think Daquan Bracy, what he's meant in this second half. This team was down 2 at the half, and you see where they're at. 10-point lead at this point in the game, and it was all sparked by the way Daquan Bracy attacked those first 2 offensive possessions.
That's a great point because he scored the first 5 points of the second half, and it was like, oh, there's Bracy.
Yeah, and then now he's double digits. He's at 17 points for the contest.
Langston icing this one at the foul line. So the 3-game win streak almost over for Western Kentucky, and La Tech continues to be indomitable at home this year. And pretty darn good on defense, too, as they shut out Western Kentucky and hold the Hilltoppers to without a field goal over the final 7:30 of this game.
That is such a glaring number, especially when you think of the 3-game win streak that Western Kentucky came into the TAC today touting, and that was playing at the end of this game, and to go solo 0 goose eggs for 7.5 minutes, that has to be very disheartening for Rick Stansberry and this team going back home. It's going to be a long flight back to Bowling Green.
It will, but remember, this is the 5th game in 10 days for Western Kentucky. They had been playing really well up until this point. They'll get things back rolling again once they get back to Bowling Green, where they are very good at their home floor, by the way. Olivia, let's check in.
Okay, Coach, congratulations. You guys came out of halftime with your hair on fire. What did you say to them?
Well, we just talked about that we needed to start playing our game, and that's intense and fast and hard, and I really thought the defense sparked our offense in the second half.
You wanted some separation in the conference. You talked to us today about that. Where do you feel like you're going to get there?
Well, I think that we're growing. We've got a young group of guys that are getting better and better, and they're fighting every day to get better. They're enjoying this right now, playing together, and we just want to keep that up.
You're undefeated. Oh, here we go. You're undefeated at home still. 12 wins at home. What's the secret playing here?
The secret are all these people in the band. We've got wonderful fans that support our team, and then, of course, these guys are playing really hard.
Congratulations. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get Daquan over here. Here we go. Congratulations, Daquan. And with Day right here. So you had 25 points in your last game, and then tonight another great game, 16. What's the secret in your last couple games?
Just preparation. Preparation is key, and I prepared myself for this.
How do you feel like you're finding your shots?
I'm finding them good. I just got to take them with confidence and make them.
When you look around at your fans who come out night after night and see you guys 12-0 at home, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. They don't know how much they mean to the game. Like, we had a bad little stretch in the first half. I didn't play that good, but their energy kept us in the game and kept my composure clean.
You still have a tough stretch ahead of you guys. What are you doing better now than ever?
We're just staying together as a team. We got a slogan. It's a tougher together, and that's what we're doing.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Olivia, thank you very much. This was a fun one inside the Thomas Assembly Center. Louisiana Tech shakes off a deficit at the halftime and roars to a win. They are now 12-0 inside the TAC in Ruston, Louisiana. For Max Starks and Olivia Decker, my two broadcast partners on this game. My name is Chris Foster saying so long, and thanks very much for watching on Facebook.